Hello, and welcome to the Content Systems for Growth podcast. I am so excited today because I have my former coach, Lindsay Maloney, on the podcast with me today. I asked if she would come on because I am amazed, absolutely amazed by the sheer amount of content that she puts out every single day, every single week, not only on social media, but also the emails that she writes to her email list, as well as the amount of courses that she creates on top of actually being a one on one coach as well. So I'm very excited to welcome Lindsay to the show today. Welcome, Lindsay, to my podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today. I mentioned right away in the opening that you are my former coach, and we've determined that it was just last year that I worked with you. So I'm excited to kind of pick your brain on all the things that you have going on in your business. To get into it, of course, the burning question and the reason that I asked you on the show, Lindsay, was I'm absolutely amazed by the sheer amount of content that you put out. Your emails, you send emails regularly. I'm not even sure. I might get them every single day. I don't count. I just typically read them because I like to read fun emails and with stories in them. Your social media, you always have new content on your social media, and you always have, seems like you're creating a new course and putting it out there, like a low ticket offer, which I absolutely love your business model with that low ticket and high ticket, that spread that you have. I'm just curious, like, how do you do that when you have a full-time career, you homeschool your kids, and you keep up with your household and everything else, along with running a successful online coaching business?
Well, I don't sleep. No, I'm kidding.
I
Well,
figured
thank
that was
you
the
for
answer.
having me, Michelle.
You bet.
We just discovered it's been a year since we've been last on a call almost to the day. So I've missed you and I'm excited to be here with you. I get that question asked a lot, and I always tell people first, please, for the love of God, don't compare yourself to me. I'm a very busybody type personality. I like to be busy. I almost kind of panic when I don't have something to do. If I'm not doing more than one thing at the same time, like I'm not happy. I have to be doing something at all times. So when I decided to start a business years and years ago, this was perfect because I could be creative. I could, try different things. And then as you have kids and you just keep accumulating all this stuff. And to me, it's always been like, okay, give me one more thing. I know I can do it. It's kind of like when you're working out and you're like, put a little bit more weight on it. I know I can handle it. And then I know I cannot tolerate anymore. I'm gonna do really well with this. And then
Mhm.
when I'm ready, add more. That's kind of how I am with life in general. Right now, my plate is full. Yeah. And I produce a lot of content. I have produced a lot of offers. I don't send an email every day, twice a week. And I've managed to do it because I'm really efficient with my time. And like, you're really efficient with your time too. I started when like I had kids going and taking naps. And so they're definitely not napping anymore. But I always told myself, if I can manage to build a business by myself with just an hour or two a day, however long that nap time was, that's kind of the business that I want because I don't want another full-time job. I just want like something that's very potent in my life and that can really, bless our lifestyle. And so I've just built a business that only needs that amount of focus a day. And 10 plus years later, we're doing really well. I still have my full-time job. People ask me about that all the time. We homeschool, we do all the things, and we're perfectly happy with, the day to day, and it works really well for us.
Well, I cannot imagine. Yes, you have to be efficient with time management. I mean, I think you are more than efficient with time management when you have so much. And the thing about it too, the thing that I remember when I worked with you with one-on-one coaching is that you still answered all my questions. Like we had, I believe it was we Voxered, and any questions that I ever had, I mean, were very good about setting the boundaries too. Like, I'll get back to you in this set amount of time. And then that set my expectation for it. But I never felt like, I always felt like no matter what, you were there for me and supporting. So, I mean, that in itself, to be able to have your clients feel like that when they're working with you is something to say when you have so many irons in the fire. Like, I do. I really don't think you sleep, honestly.
I do, I promise.
How do you organize all that? Like, do you have a certain system that you follow? Do you have a workflow for your week, or like how you set up your week? Is it on a repeat basis, or how do you handle all of it?
I am very structured and routine. Most of my days look the same. Like I told you at the beginning of this, was I have the day off from my full-time job. And I don't really like taking days off because I'm not structured. And I kind of just like, I'm gonna, rearrange my living room, and then I'm gonna make bread, and then I'm gonna do this and this and this so I can relax tonight. Like, oh yeah, whatever. My daughter even said last night, she goes, we were walking back to the house, and she goes, oh, now we can go back to the house and relax because you never relax. And I said, I just really don't enjoy relaxing, Violet. Doing things is relaxing to me. People might be like, oh my gosh, red flag for a burnout, but that's just who I am. I just enjoy being busy.
Hmm.
But my days primarily look the same. I wake up really early in the morning, pretty early, and around like 4:30. And that's when I have to fuel myself. So I always do something I'm gonna walk. I'm going to lift weights. I'm gonna do everything that I need to do in order to feel like I can have my coffee and my breakfast. I did all the hard stuff first. And that's when I check in with my clients. Sometimes they get the breathless treadmill check in, sometimes they don't. But that's usually when that kind of stuff is answered. I clear out my Voxer, I clear out Asana. I have a virtual assistant right now. I clear out all of that. I make sure everything's clean and clear by the time I'm right here and checking in with my full-time job. Like my full-time job is very has a lot of pressure, and that has to have 100% focus. And that's fine because I really enjoy that as project management, and that's like my zone. So that's 8 hours of my day. When I'm done, that's homeschool, that's house stuff. And it's very structured. My family knows that I'm very structured. They kind of like hands off. Let's not poke her while she's busy. We eat dinner like we're 90. We eat like at 4 or 4:30 so we can make sure we get everything done by the time it's 7:30, and I'm getting tired, and I would say I'm cold and I'm hungry, I'm ready for bed. And then we get ready for bed. Like when kids are old enough where they can get ready for bed themselves, we still read and do all those things, and the next day starts over with the same thing. um, and my kids have grown up with me working from home. I've worked from home for over 20, probably 20 years, and so they don't know any different. And so they're very structured with their day. They kind of get thrown off when I have the day off and I'm standing in the kitchen doing something at 9 o'clock in the morning. They're like, why are you down here? Like they go upstairs and work or something. So I think like it's a family effort to support what I have. Saturday mornings is when I do work with clients, Thursday afternoons. And like you said before, I have very strong boundaries. And I will always promise myself I will stick to those because I know what it's like to not, and I know how fast things can crumble and you can feel totally taken advantage of when you just kind of let it happen. So I'm very careful with that. And, some clients really respect that. Some clients are, they don't quite understand that. Uh, but it's a good teaching moment to show them, like, this is how you want your clients to treat you, right? So I feel like it's not only for me, it's for them as well.
Hmm. Well, and you touched on the fact that, with all the things that you do, you could get yourself into burnout. But I think because you have those boundaries, and I could be wrong, that probably aids in the fact that you're not getting burned out. Because a lot when it comes with burnout for me is because I have too many things coming at me and it makes me feel overwhelmed. But when you set those boundaries and say, I'm going to do this now and this now, I think it helps with that. But I don't know what your thoughts are on that at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's you recognizing really quickly, I can't do that well because I'm
Hmm.
also the president of our Christian Mothers group at our church. So that's a whole other big iron in the fire.
Hmm.
But I know really quickly that is, certain things that, we think of, we should do. I know the radar flashes, whether it's with family, church, whatever it is, business. I can't focus on there. I have nothing to give to that because it's all, this is for this and this is this. It's all assigned. All the energy has been assigned. If
Hmm.
there's extra, then fine. But I know really well. I think that's a process knowing what you can put out Sometimes you just have to do what you got to do. But most of the time, I can tell really quickly, like that's not something I have capacity for. And I'm not going to be ashamed to ask for help. I'm not going to make it hard on myself and go past my boundaries. Like one night, my husband is in a band and he was gone. They were playing somewhere. And I was like, I really need to I had this big project that I wanted to finish this summer. I really want to get it done by tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning I can wake up and I don't have to do it. And then I was like, I'm gonna get ready for bed. I'm gonna bring my laptop in bed and I'm gonna finish it. So I got ready for bed and I thought, I am not going to be that laptop in bed person. Like that to me, that's like we have to cut. There we have to draw a line here. And I put my laptop in my office and went to bed. Like I'm not going to do that because I know it's not going to be my best work. I'm just not going to go down that road. So it just involves you really knowing yourself and what times and what capacity you can do your best work.
Mm, yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's all about knowing when your best energy is. And it's not even knowing your best energy in the day, but your best energy during the month. Because I know for me personally, there's like points in the month where I have a lot of energy, where things feel easy and simple to do. And there's other points where I'm like, what am I doing right now?
And why does everyone hate me?
Exactly. So, do you have any go-to tools that make things easier for you? I love tech, so that's one of the things that I like to ask people. Is there a certain tool that you think makes you more consistent and productive behind the scenes in your business or
You
in
know,
your
I
life?
I got a new planner this summer. It was really geared towards my brain because I was tired of the planners who were like, how do you feel about the morning sunshine and write 5 paragraphs about how like, I don't want that. I need something that will help me organize my brain. And I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't find anything. And I think it's Laura something.
Is it Laurel Denise?
Yes, yes.
We have twinning planners, except for I have the landscape one.
Okay.
You have
I
the portrait.
love that one. I love this planner because it finally is for my brain. I love the little tiny pages you can have on the bottom. Like, oh my gosh, I can finally put homeschool on one. I can put like everything that I have there. I have to have things in two places. I have to have it on paper. That's what I do on Sundays. And then I have to put it in Asana. Those are my two. If I didn't have those, I wouldn't know what day it is. Like we work so far ahead in my full-time job. We're like a month ahead. So I literally have no clue what day it is. And so this is my map, my compass, and Asana is where I can go and say like moving pieces around, but I need something that's not fluffy and it was just made for me. So I love that you have it too. I'm not surprised.
That's funny. And it's exactly like how you say. I do the same thing. I do a lot of I have Asana and Notion both, but then I also have this planner because those are like my triad, I guess, of tools that I
Mhm.
use day in and day out. But like Notion, that's like my recipe database, I have like
Oh.
everything. Everything is in there, but Asana is the one that is my checklist of things to do. And
Mhm.
yeah, my planner, I just love paper and pen, like to
Yeah.
sit down and actually map out my week and my time. And
Mhm.
I think her YouTube videos crack me up. Have you watched them before?
Yes.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh, they're
them.
so funny. I absolutely love them. And they have great ideas in there how to
Mhm.
uniquely use their planner. So that's very fun. I love that. Yeah, like you. I love the fact. And then is yours navy or black?
It's navy.
So is mine. Yeah, mine is too. That's so funny. That is so funny. Well, yay. I'll have to make a little snippet of this so that I can put it on
Yes.
social media or put it on Instagram and tag them.
Yes.
That's
When two coaches discover they use the same planner.
exactly. Exactly. Oh, that's too funny. So I know that there was a point too with your content. I think it was on Instagram where you talked about how overwhelmed you were feeling with content. Like you create your podcast, but then that's not the end of it because then you have all these other bits and bobs that you have to do and create afterwards. I know from that point, you've slowed down on your podcast quite a bit and have taken out that piece. So I'm guessing that was one of the pieces that were overwhelming for you.
Mhm.
But how was that process for you with actually letting go of that more of that long form content and then just into more of that short form content or social media type of content?
Mhm.
Because that's more of what type of daily content you create, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We put stuff out daily on Instagram. Podcasting, what, I probably have 300 episodes on there. And it's something that I did for many years. And all of a sudden I just like it, like you said, it didn't stop at the recording. I had to edit it and make the graphics and all of those things. Like it's so much work, as well, to go from A to Z with a podcast. And I knew, this was, a few years ago that I want to focus on creating offers. I almost felt like I've given you so much free stuff. I'm probably going to shift gears now because that all fell into the time where I left the launching quarterly, monthly thing with a high ticket program. Like I left that business model because I hated it. I left it and I knew that I had to do something different or say, see you later, everybody. And I knew I didn't want to do that, so I had to find a different way. And that's when I started creating all of my low ticket offers. So I had to put full focus on that. So any idea that I had for a podcast or whatever, I was like, that should just be an offer. That should just be an offer. Like I have lots of things that, yeah, I could record a podcast on, but why not get people to put some skin in the game and actually take action and do something? Because I know, like, and it sounds so dumb for me to say that while I'm on a podcast, but I know that a lot of people get stuck in the sponge mode where they're just constantly listening to podcasts and never doing anything. I remember being in that too when I first started, like listening to several podcast episodes a day and having a variety of random ideas from all these people who don't have a lifestyle that I want or have, and have try strategies that I don't really even know what they're talking about, but it sounds good. And, so all of a sudden your brain is just this mess of things. But what would happen if I could create something that was specific? Like, here's how to create your coaching packages. I could create a podcast episode on that, or you could spend $27 and actually do it instead of just like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. So I felt like I just wanted to clean up the middleman and not even really have them and just go straight to the point.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you have so many courses. Like, how many actually low ticket courses do you have? I'm curious.
I just like I literally spent the summer auditing them, probably 25 or more. I listened to every single one just to make sure they were still, because some of them are a few years old. I listened to every single one of them and from beginning to end. And if there was anything that was like, I was going to take it out. But all of this is still valid right now. And so I just transcribed everything and put it in my Google Docs so I know exactly what they're all about. Because sometimes you forget because you have so many offers. So they're all there. There's a lot of them, but they're all specifically for different things. Like some people ask me, I just bought this. I kind of want that. Is that the same thing? No, they're all different solutions. I don't play that game where, like, they're all kind of the same thing. They're all very different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, they are, and they are helpful. And I like the thing that I love is I can consume them in one sitting and
Mhm.
walk away with action items to actually do after it's done. But I'm not overwhelmed with watching 20 hours worth of courses and then
Mhm.
taking away. Like you're solving one problem with every one of your courses and you get specific action items for that, just that course, which I think is so helpful to help somebody that gets too distracted by things to really narrow it down into that one particular thing for them to improve on. I
It's
mean,
you're
for
just
myself.
selling the solution. And
Mhm.
I mean, people are looking to solve a specific problem. And that's the answer to every offer. Every good offer that sells, it has to be specific. What problem is this going to solve? And I say this all the time to clients. If someone purchased something from you and their husband asks them, why is there $50 taken out of our account? What are you going to tell them? I bought this offer from Michelle and it's going to help me create content for my blog. Like it has to be as simple as that. Not like she's going to help me have the right mindset and blah, 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 blah. Like, no, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for like how to get more people on my podcast, how to get more people to, like specific things that people can easily explain to someone.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's a good way to put it. Like what would you tell your husband for him to actually understand? Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. I agree with that. Um, and I noticed today on your Instagram post that you went from 1,500 to 2,300 people in your program, that dream client program, in a year. I mean, that's amazing. Like,
Yeah,
did
to
you?
5,300. Yeah. It was, I had to like kind of like double check, like, is that for real? It is for real. But the Dream Client Code came out at the beginning of 2024.
Hmm.
So, that's over 5,000 students in just that amount of time. It's been quite the ride. There's, like I said before, that's several small towns. I live in a town of 700 people, so that's a lot of little hometowns for me.
Yeah, that's pretty much the surrounding communities that I live into because we are like 8,000, but everybody, all the little towns around us are even smaller than that. So you have your own population.
I guess. I have a population of people who are doing awesome things, who are seeing crazy results and are always telling me how relieved they are to find something like this, how it's actually like saved their business.
Hmm.
That's a big deal because it's something totally different and it makes me so happy.
Hmm. Well, it is. And the thing that I love about it is I did the whole process. So, like, you are selling something that you actually did yourself, which I absolutely love. And I went through the whole dream client and created a product as well. And I'm going to redo it because now we talked about it earlier. Like, I have another idea and I'm super excited because you can do it multiple times, like multiple ways as you grow as an individual and as you grow as a coach. You don't have to keep the same offers. You can change them and you can
Mhm.
redo it. But the framework for your dream client can move into that with it as well. So it's a very exciting way to get away from having to do all those phone calls or discovery calls with people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many people who feel completely locked in with those strategies. I just had a message yesterday, and this girl told me she spent, I think it was 5 figures, but I can't remember how exactly much it was, on this course where they taught their students they have to do DM outreach every single day. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's not realistic for someone who has a family, who has other things in their life. Like, seriously, you want to be doing DM outreach for 7 days a week? That's quite bizarre to me. And the problem with that strategy is it's so wrong and so on so many levels, but these people are charging such high ticket for strategies that are sorry, but they're garbage. They're not going to work. People burn out on them so fast, and people are tired of getting burned, like keeping this shroud of mystery over a strategy that's terrible, but making it look so flashy and powerful because it's high ticket. That just gives me the millionth reason why I can't stand offers like that, because most of the time people could find something in my offer for $43 that's going to actually give them results, and here they just had to take out a loan to buy a course that they'll never touch again. I hear that all the time, and that makes me so mad because that puts such a bad stigma on the coaching industry because people have gotten taken advantage of so many times. And it's wrong because all the bad apples are making the good ones just almost nothing because people have lost trust in so many areas of how to grow your business.
And I think sometimes we make it too hard to try and grow our business and to do things when all we have to do is just step back and look for the easy path or pray about it and like see the direction that you're given. And I think so often we forget that we can make it. It's our business. That's the whole point. We started a business to be able to do things our way and not how somebody else it works for somebody else.
Yeah, and the hard part about that is some people don't even know what they're buying and they get taken along this ride where they didn't even ask to be on. We need to build up the trust and the honesty in this industry. That's why I'm very vocal about what I believe is how I landed where I am. Like, there's no secret cover up to what I do. It's very visible. And I think we should all be that vulnerable because people are sitting on your website right now, scrolling, trying to figure out if you're the right person for them. Someone will work with me because just because I'm a homeschool mom, they'll work with me just because I'm a mom, just because I am working on it in a couple hours a day. Those things are really important to people. Not what I have, but how I got where I am. That's really important to people.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I think it's because you're drawn to people that have the same types of values that you do as well. And I see a lot of your values in the same values that I have for myself. And I mean, that's a big thing because you want to make sure that you're aligning yourself with somebody that you could admire or strive to. Like, that's why I worked with you because I wanted my business to be like that same type of framework. And if you're doing something that doesn't, you're taking a course or working with a coach that doesn't necessarily have your same values, that's, I think, one of the things that you can struggle with. Because I know I've hired coaches in the past that didn't have my same values and it didn't work out very well.
No, even course creators too. Like you can purchase something from a course creator and like, okay, I guess I don't have the bandwidth to post 3 times a day. I don't have like all those things matter long term. I've probably asked you this too. Is it something that you can see yourself doing 5 years from now? If all of a sudden you got 100 new students with the way you're set up right now, can you hold that? And most of the time it's like, no, I can't. So it's usually, let's see how we can simplify this and make it better because someday you will get to that point and you might be yelling at yourself 5 years ago because you didn't listen to yourself then. And it's kind of like, is this something you want to keep doing 5 years from now? Ask yourself that every day.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because that's very telling too. Because even though you may not be doing exactly the same thing 5 years from now, you'll grow and evolve, but still, it needs to feel like you would want to continue doing it.
Right. But if you think of like the systems that you asked me about in the beginning,
Hmm.
those things have always been a part of my life. Asana has been a part of my life for 10 plus years. My planner, I've been planning since I was 10 till somebody handed me a planner. I was like, ooh, well, I can write when I'm going to stay at my grandma's now. I can put that somewhere. I can write, I'm going to help my dad with chores tomorrow. Like there's somewhere I can put something. So we do have our things that we will always cling to. But then it goes into the next level. Like, what are you using for your checkout? What are you using for courses? What are you using for all these things? And sometimes we are caught up in the flashy products that we need to have without mentioning any names that are costing us hundreds of dollars a month when you're not making anything. Is that sustainable? Or could you try and just simplify it a little bit and not have all these subscriptions coming out every month? Like, there's no shame in doing that. You're not going to put yourself at a lower money mindset. That's a bunch of baloney. You have to do what's best for you and your family. Otherwise, 3 months from now, you're just kind of vanished because you literally broke yourself because you're trying to be someone else, not yourself.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, absolutely. And you're not going to get anywhere with being somebody else. You have to be you. It's the only way to be in integrity, right?
Yeah, it really is.
So do you have, I mean, you touched on the mindset a little bit. Like, is there certain habits or mindsets though that you have that helps you create the amount of content that you do and not feel like you're burning out or overwhelmed with it?
I just don't really pay attention to what anyone is doing in my industry, in my niche. Like, I don't pay attention to any business coaches whatsoever. I have to stay very focused on how I want to do things. Like that's how the Dream Client Code was born because I didn't see myself doing another discovery call. Like, there had to be something else. So I first went from I'm just going to send you the link after you apply and we'll go from there. I haven't been on a discovery call in years and I'm always booked out. But then there came to another spot where I was like, but what if I still want to help people though? And so then that whole process was born. It wasn't born because I saw someone else on Instagram talking about something. It was born because I had an idea. I'm going to see if it works. And if it does, then I'm going to make an offer with it because it's going to help someone else. And it worked better than I thought it ever would.
Hmm.
And so it comes to just like putting your blinders on, not paying attention to what anyone else is doing. That holds my mindset where it's supposed to be. If I feel like frustrated or, like a human, when you go and you check and you're like, gosh, today's really slow or Facebook ads totally tanked today. What's going on with that? Have those measures in place. For example, Facebook ads, bad day, fine. Another bad day, third bad day, let's do something different. And then it'll all figure itself out. you always have little plans of action, right? With the things that don't really work as planned, with marketing. Paid marketing can be really stressful.
Hmm.
But otherwise, I know my capacity sitting here and I just go outside. I do something else. I have to do something else, get my mind off of it, get some sun. I I'm very attentive to that. I do not force myself to do anything. Like I've had a new offer in the works for probably months. And it'll get put together, but I don't put hard deadlines on myself. Like it'll get done when I want it to get done. And that's fine. I don't pressure myself anymore to get a bunch of stuff done.
I love that. And I think you have that same philosophy on your social media post as well. If I remember correct, it's like you create something when you're feeling inspired to create something for social media. It's not like, oh, I have to post something now, so I'm going to post something now.
Yeah, that's really important. That's like in a course that I have is making your own Instagram strategy and just like, doing what you can when you feel like you want to. Because otherwise what happens is you hate it and then you don't do it at all. And then someone's like comparing you between someone else and another coach. And they're like, well, she hasn't posted since June 2024, so she mustn't be doing it anymore. And you're like sitting behind the screen, like, why am I not getting anyone to book me as anything? And you're not showing up. That's where people are looking. So even if you just did it twice a week or something like that, like I had a last call with a client yesterday, and she went from not even knowing how to update anything on her website to she updated her entire website. She created the checkouts. Like she just went full blown. She did everything that she set out to do. The one thing she wasn't sure if she can post 7 times a week and how is she going to email everybody once a week? And I said, why don't you just make one email and take that email and make 2 Instagram posts out of it? Oh, I can do that. And I said, okay, that's how you want to do everything in your businesses. Well, why don't I do this instead? And if you're like, oh, I can do that, then that's what you should do, not just like not do anything. You got to do something, but what is that something? And you got to figure it out.
I absolutely love that you hit on that because repurposing, of course, is like one of the things that I love since it's like my main offer that I have for people is repurposing their stuff. But it's simply just like that. Like you forget like the wisdom that you put in your email to your people that can be you can pull out those quotes, those little things and use it in other places. You can reuse content. I mean, you're not going to remember somebody's post that they did 6 months ago.
No. And it's just like you said before, I don't know if this was in a podcast or a post or an email, and I'm thinking to myself, it was probably all of them because I just use it everywhere.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, people need to they consume content in different ways. And I think, at one point it was like they have to get it 7 or 8 times, but now I think it's like somewhere in the 20s before they actually stick to anything or
Mhm.
they remember that piece. So it never hurts to hear something
Mhm.
multiple
No, and
times for
if you
sure.
think about numbers, like I'm a numbers person. Okay, you have 24,000 followers on Instagram, you put a post out, 500 people see it. Like a tiny fraction will see that post. But if you email your list, you have 14,000 people on your list and 8,000 people read it. Those are huge numbers. Can you imagine if you posted on Instagram and 50, 60% of your people saw your post? Like that would be amazing, right? That's
Mhm.
why you have to cover all of your bases and email and post and put stuff on your website because they're all different sections of the audience that follow you and it's not the same people every time.
Mhm.
And it can be the same stuff. That's why like yeah, I and you and people who are really smart with their time notice that and take advantage of it because otherwise you're sitting in front of the screen for 8 hours a day trying to think of something to say. And I did not sign up for that.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things too, and I don't know I like marketing emails, so I sign up for them, but sometimes I don't have time to read them. So they'll get deleted that week.
Mhm.
And then, but maybe the next week I have time to read it, or a month from now I have time to read it. So, whatever you put in that last message, if I deleted it because I didn't have time
Mhm.
to read it, but I got it in this next one, I mean,
Mhm.
you have to look at your content like that as well. Like, not everybody's able to digest it. And even if they digest it, it's maybe they are not remembering it 100% or it's just a nice refresher to have. It's kind of like going back and reading your old journal entries.
Yeah, kind of scary. No.
Yeah, I know. I do it every morning. I go back and read my old journal entries and I'll be like, oh, geez.
Like the 5-year journals, those are so interesting.
hmm Oh, absolutely. They are. They are. So we're getting to the end, but I just have a couple more questions for you to just give your insight advice on, like for the coaches that are showing up weekly, but they just feel behind, maybe scattered in their content or in their process. Do you have a certain course that you have created that you would recommend
I think the
go
first
to?
thing is probably to recognize that sometimes or most of the time you're not feeling like you're just kind of flailing because you don't know who you're talking to and you don't know how you're helping people. And you're just like, I'm here to help people make sales. And it's just falling flat every single time. You're not being potent enough with your messaging. And either because you're afraid to actually use that as your weapon of choice, or you just haven't had time to talk it out. And so there's a lot of exercises you can do to get to that point. Like this isn't even in a specific offer, so I'll just give it to you. Like it's that timeline exercise where you just get a piece of paper, draw a long line, and the end is where you are right now, and the beginning is when you started your journey. And a lot of times you're going to say like, yeah, I started a journey of weight loss, financial freedom, whatever it is. But sometimes there's a small percentage where you're like, I don't really know. I never started anything. And you're like, well, you're in this for the wrong reason because you're here just to make money. So, either you think about it for a second or this isn't the right place for you. You have to be aligned with the pinpoint at the beginning. Like it has to begin, your story has to have something because no one can resonate with anything else besides your story. And so, where does your story go from, okay, I knew I needed to, replace my full-time job so I could do this. Okay, what did you do? Just start notching down moments. Don't be like wordy with them, just notch little things down. Then take one of those moments. Okay, the first thing I did was I created an Instagram account and started talking about blank. Okay, break that down. What did you do? There's a course. Pull it out, make something and start selling it. Sometimes we just think we have to sell this whole world of knowledge, but if you just stripped off one piece of your timeline, that's all these little mini offers. And then pretty soon you come out with your next one. Well, what's happening here? People are following along on your journey and they're just hopping along with you when you did this 5 years ago. And now you have all these lifelong buyers and it snowballs. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger because more people keep buying. And pretty soon you have this huge community full of people who will always buy what you have because they trust that because this one worked so well, this one will work well too. And it just keeps going from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great way to look at it from where you are. And those little, like, what? Because I think so often, and I know for myself too, like, I overthink what I
Mhm.
can create as a low ticket offer because I'm the queen of, oh, everybody knows how to do that. No,
Yes, you are.
not everybody knows how to do that.
I
Yeah,
think we had that conversation several times. I'll be like, stop, because that's genius. And you're like,
yeah. What are you talking about? Everybody knows that. I know. So, oh well. I still haven't gotten over it, just so you know that. But oh well, you have to keep going through the same process over and over again till you learn your
right.
lesson, right?
hmm
So, anyways, um, so I know that you have a whole entire vault that people can sign up for of low ticket offers because I think do you still have a $7 offer? I know you had one at one time.
We go as low as $5 and
Ooh.
then we go up to $5 to $1,000 as anything you can buy to DIY. To work with me privately, that's different, but all of the DIY stuff goes from 5 to 1,000.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that there was a big range in there and that you have anything a new coach would want to know about starting a coaching business is going to be in your vault. But you also have a whole freebie vault
hmm
as well, and I'll go ahead and put that link down below. Is there anything else that I didn't ask you, Lindsay, today that you would like to share with my audience on either how you create courses so efficiently or systems that you have in place? Any little action item or that you could provide my listeners today?
I think the big thing is I'm just going to say don't compare yourself to me or to anyone else. We all started, my first people in my Facebook group was my mom. And then she called me and said, "Can grandma come in it too?" My first people on my email list was someone from Hebron who had nothing to do with anything that I work on. You all start at this, we all start at zero, and it grows and you're like, what is going on? There's so many moments where you're wondering, why am I doing this? But if you keep focus on yourself and the view ahead and not at everybody else, you're going to be just fine. But I think it's so hard. I recognize this in the homeschool arena, in business. There's so many times you can go online and be like, I cook wrong, I take care of my kids wrong, I brush my hair wrong, I do everything wrong, right? Like social media is really good at telling you what you do wrong. And if you're not in the right mindset one day when you open up your phone, you just want to burn your business to the ground because it's not performing the way hers is. And you just feel like a loser, right? But if you mute, unfollow, disregard all of that because it doesn't apply to you, you're going to be just fine. Don't compare yourself to other people in all aspects of life. You're doing the best you can. All you can do is keep learning and trying and giving yourself the best effort that you can do, and everything will fall into place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Because I think that comparison-itis gets us all for sure.
Yeah. Sometimes you just want to like throw your phone across the room, like,
Hmm. And
why am I even on here?
I know. And who knows? Maybe she's doing the same thing. That person that you're comparing yourself to could potentially be doing the exact same thing. So,
Yep.
I mean, we never know what we're struggles we're going through.
This is a 5-second reel that you're basing your whole life on, and we cannot do that. That's such a recipe for disaster.
No, absolutely. Well, Lindsay, it's been an absolute pleasure being able to catch up with you again today, since it's been a year since the last time we did. I I really appreciate it. And I hope that my listeners all get as much value from you as I have. So, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this episode valuable and learned some actionable tips that you can implement in your business so that you can feel accomplished and less stressed. If you enjoyed this show, please take a quick minute to share this with your business bestie, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more business owners just like you. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website. I've created a form just for you. Remember, with the right system and mindset, you can achieve the success your heart desires. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you next time. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And don't forget, let's grow, friends.